Hi, I'm Jeff Goodman and welcome to ScubaVerse.com. Today I'm talking with Paul Watson, founder of the Sea Shepherd Conservation Society. Sea Shepherd is an international, non-profit, direct-action marine wildlife conservation movement.
We've got a statement here from our clients, so we're going to play that on the loudspeaker. Please remove yourself from these waters. You're in violation of international conservation regulations. We're acting in accordance with the United Nations World Charter for Nature and implementing these regulations. You're in a whale sanctuary and you're assisting in illegal activity. Remove yourself from these waters immediately.
We're not going to stand idly by and watch these laws be broken just because no governments have the political will to do anything to stop it. So we've set ourselves up as that law enforcement body.
Paul, great to see you again. You reminded me it's been 34 years.
Yes, it's been a long time.
Wow, my goodness. Well, you don't look any older, may I say.
Well, I don't know about that.
I was thinking, I do remember we both had brown or fair hair at the time. We've both seen
I had black hair.
yeah, black hair even. There you go. Fantastic. Paul, just for those that don't know much about Sea Shepherd, can you just tell us why and when you formed Sea Shepherd?
I established Sea Shepherd in 1977. I had been a director with Greenpeace, so I left Greenpeace and set up Sea Shepherd. And the difference was where Greenpeace was mainly a protest organization, Sea Shepherd intervenes. And so we set it up as a marine conservation anti-poaching organization, which today is now actually a movement. It's in about 42 different countries. They're all separate entities, all working together under the auspices of Sea Shepherd Global, which is based in Amsterdam.
You've certainly grown hugely since the times that I was with you. I do remember during that time that, as well as fighting the people that were doing the harm to the environment, you're actually having a lot of problems with governments as well. Is that still the case, or has that eased off now?
Well, some governments, specifically Japan and Norway, but today actually things have changed quite dramatically. We're now in partnership with numerous governments around the world. We have agreements to partner up with Namibia and Tanzania and Gabon and Liberia and São Tomé and Capo Verde and Peru and Mexico. And what that means is that we offer the ships and the volunteers, and they give us the authority. So they put their enforcement people on board. And so that's resulted in us arresting about 52 illegal fishing vessels off of the west coast of Africa. It's allowed us to protect the endangered vaquita in Mexico's waters. And so this is working out really well. And I think it's somewhat novel. We actually started this in 1999 with a partnership with Ecuador and the protection of the Galapagos Marine Reserve. And now it's expanded to numerous countries, and we're actually getting invitations from many other countries to partner up with them.
So of all the work that you're doing now globally, is there one issue that stands above the rest, or does everything have equal importance?
Well, there's so many different campaigns that we're involved in right now. I'm very much concerned with protecting the endangered vaquita porpoise. There's less than 20 of them left, and I'm quite confident that if it wasn't for the last 7 years of our interventions, that the vaquita would now be extinct. We've confiscated over 1,200 nets out of the vaquita refuge, and we've kept the numbers from falling by doing these vigilant patrols in that area. So we're really quite happy with the results of that. We're also now, we have a lawsuit against New Zealand to protect the Maui dolphin. And so there's so many campaigns, it's really hard to pinpoint where, or keep track of them all, really. That's a great advantage of having a movement over an organization. But I think the thing that we're probably most proud of is that after many years, we were able to drive the Japanese whaling fleet out of the Southern Ocean Whale Sanctuary, which is now 100% protected. And Japan will not be going back. So for the first time, the Southern Ocean whale sanctuary is 100% protected.
How physically is that protected? How does that work?
There's no whaling taking place in those waters, and if there was, we would find out about it. We also drove the toothfish poachers out of there, shut down all 6 of those vessels. That included the longest pursuit in maritime history, when our vessel, the Bob Barker, chased the toothfish poacher Thunder for 110 days from the coast of Antarctica to equatorial West Africa. And that ended up with the captain of the Thunder sinking his own ship right in front of us, which was pretty dramatic. But the result of that also was to establish our relationship with Interpol and with working with these other countries to stop illegal fishing.
Oh, that must have been quite an event, extraordinary. On the boat issue, I do remember we had one boat that took a bit of taking care of. Looking at your fleet now, they look amazing. How many ships have you got now?
Well, we have 9 right now. There's just acquired another one, actually, so 10. That's for Sea Shepherd Italy. And we're looking at acquiring 2 more. We're in a much better shape now than we were in 1985 and 1986, when we were nursing that old trawler to continue to operate and no longer have that problem. And of course, it's a lot easier getting crew now. We have literally thousands of applications, and at any given time, there's about 200 volunteers crewing the ships.
I think. And how is that financed?
It's still all from individual donations around the world. We're still relatively small and the reason for that is that we have a policy of not spending money on fundraising. So, we don't do direct mail campaigns or solicitations and things like that. And we feel that if people want to protect the oceans, they'll come to us, and that's in fact is what is happening. So we're now we have big support bases in Germany, the UK, Australia, the US, France, Italy, all over, and together all these entities help to fund the operation of ships through Sea Shepherd Global.
Do you think enough support or understanding from general public, or is it just the individuals who are conservationally minded anyway? I mean, do you think the public actually understand what's going on?
Well, we got a big boost, of course, between 2007 and 2016 with when we did the Whale Wars show on Animal Planet. And that dramatically increased our support base because of the high profile. We were the #1 show on Animal Planet, and they're still doing reruns on that. So that was a big boost for us. And since then, we've done a number of documentaries. We're featured in The Cove, which won the Academy Award. Also, Sea of Shadows about the Vaquita campaign. Leslie Chilcott, who did Inconvenient Truth, did the film Watson about me personally. And of course, there's Chasing the Thunder about our campaign against to track down the toothfish poachers. And coming up will be we co-produced a film this year called Seaspiracy, which is to take a look at the destruction caused by the fishing industry around the world. That'll be released later this year.
Is that general release or is that for TV?
I think it'll be a general release first.
Yeah.
You never know with these things because there's all sorts of, going back and forth with various distributors or whatever. Like, for instance, the film Watson was picked up by Amazon, and Sea of Shadows was bought by National Geographic, and Chasing the Thunder by Vulcan and Discovery.
Right. Fantastic. Amazing. I saw in your Facebook thing, it was just an off comment that you mentioned hate mail that you get. Do you actually get very much of that?
Not as much as before, which is
really?
It's a bad sign, really. I think that getting I've always said that if you're going to be successful, you're going to make enemies. You're going to make a lot of people upset. So to me, that kind of thing is a indicator of success more than anything else.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I was just thinking the other day that, through all my travels and stuff, meeting lots of conservation groups, scientific groups, all having their own agendas. and fighting for their own finance, and just no cooperation between any of them. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that's the nature of the political economic realities that we live in. You know, people are competing all the time for support. And some people are really good at it and some people aren't. Unfortunately, the people who are really good at it seem to be the ones that are doing the least. But anyway, I do think, though, that when you look at any movement, you have to see that the strength has to lie in diversity, just as in any ecosystem. So all of these different approaches are positive, you know, whether that approach be litigation, legislation, education, or direct action. And I think for the most part, you know, we're making an impact on that. But you really, as you said, you really can't get away from this competition that's always there. So we just have to learn to live with it.
Yeah, it can become a little frustrating to see sometimes. You just kind of think, you see two groups doing the same sort of thing, think, why don't you just get together? And
well, I'll tell you, I've tried many times
I'm sure you have.
To work with Greenpeace, for example, and they just absolutely refuse.
Really?
There's just no, in fact, what was it, 3 years ago, it was actually quite funny. Greenpeace was looking for a new international director, and I applied for the job. And to my amazement, they instead of interviewing me, they sent me to a headhunting company based in Chicago to interview me. Which I thought was a little bizarre. And anyway, they did the interview, and I said, oh, "Look, I'll do the job for $1 a year. So the salary should be okay." And this would be an opportunity to merge Sea Shepherd with Greenpeace, you know, to make a stronger movement. And they took all of this back. And then about 3 months later, I get a call from the same company saying, you do have the experience being as a co-founder of Greenpeace, and, you know, the salary part's okay and everything, but Greenpeace is moving in a different direction right now, and we don't think that you have the qualifications for that. And I said, oh my God, I didn't get that Harvard degree in accounting.
Oh my goodness. Have you ever met the person that wrote back to you?
Oh no, it was just a corporate person. It wasn't really anybody. They didn't really seem to know much about Greenpeace. But the interesting thing is, every single founding member of Greenpeace is no longer with Greenpeace. So for a while, it was really funny because they were denying the fact that I was a co-founder of Greenpeace. They even removed me from the website and everything like that. And then the movie How to Change the World came out about the early days of Greenpeace. And so now they can no longer deny that because it featured myself and Bob Hunter and Patrick Moore and others. So, you know, I think that history is firmly established, and they can't really continue to pretend that it didn't happen.